more. Spot it. Jot it. Join. What's this? Can you guess?
Hello. Full marks if you managed to spot that was a leopard gecko. It belongs to someone with a rather large collection of unusual pets. Chris Henwood and his son Ben. Hello there, welcome to Caterpillar Trail.
Hello.
So, how many animals have you got then, Chris?
About 350.
350, that must be an awful lot of work.
It's about 2 hours a day.
Quite a lot of work.
Yeah.
So do you keep an accurate count of them all the time?
We try to, yes, but occasionally they come up with others. In fact, Ben had 3 babies born to his Chinese hamsters this weekend.
Oh, lovely. Did you discover the babies then, Ben?
Yes.
They're beautiful, aren't they? They're tiny, they've still got their eyes closed, haven't they? Can we have a closer look at one, do you think, Chris?
They are very tiny at the moment.
So, Ben, how long will it be until their eyes are open, do you think?
About 10 days.
About 10 days. Because they've got hardly any fur on them either, have they? Beautiful.
And then they'll be able to breed at about 8 weeks.
I would think you have to be careful, otherwise you're going to have hundreds and hundreds of them, I would think.
You do, but you can keep them in single-sex groups.
Right.
So you've just got 2 males or 2 females.
I think maybe we better put him back with Mum and Dad.
Yeah,
don't you?
Mum will soon cover him up.
Keep him warm. So what else have you brought for us to have a look at today?
Well, probably the one that everyone knows is this little fella, which is the Syrian hamster. This is actually, to get elaborate, that's a honey rex.
Beautiful, isn't he?
He's got a rex coat.
What would you be feeding him on?
He'd eat just a general hamster mix,
Something you buy
vegetables.
from a pet shop?
Yeah, that sort of thing.
Is that the place he lives in, that tank?
No, that's a travel box. That's literally just to bring him up here. He's got a cage at home about as big as the tanks.
Right. Now, next door to him, you have a snail, the like of which I don't think I've ever seen before.
This is a giant African land snail.
It's a magnificent creature, isn't it? Is that fully grown?
No, he can get bigger than that.
Right, and then what will they eat?
Again, mainly vegetables. They need cuttlefish or chalk to grow the shell.
And keep that hard. Yeah. Well, you wouldn't want to let that loose on your vegetable patch at home, would you?
Not really, no, but something you will find on the vegetable patch are these little things.
Are they just the normal garden snails?
Ordinary garden snails, that's right. I mean, the nice things about these, really, are that if you get fed up with them, if you go on holiday, put them back in the garden.
And then perhaps when you come back again,
Go
a
and
whole
find
new
some
set.
more.
Yes. Now, this week is National Pets Week, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
what are the aims of the National Pet Week?
The aims of the Pet Week really are to show the different pets that you can keep and to encourage responsible ownership of the pets. But, I mean, you can keep pets anywhere. You don't have to keep exotic things. You can keep snails, you can keep earthworms, you can eat... I know of an ant farm on an oil rig.
Really?
So it doesn't matter where you are, you can keep a pet.
Because pets are good company for everyone, of course.
They are. I mean, they found recently that lots of people in hospitals and hospices benefit from having a cat or a dog visit them so they can stroke it. There's hamsters, there's rats in hospices.
The thing that sort of strikes me here is there's almost a pet for wherever you live. If you live in a high-rise block of flats or if you live on a farm, there's a pet you can have.
There is. And there's also, well, the old comment is there's a pet to fit your pocket. If you haven't got much money, you can go and get these, which will cost you, well, this box will cost you a couple of pounds to keep it, but you can keep it in any sort of box. I mean, even this sort of bug box that you can buy in the shop, which gives you a little book about what you can keep in there as well.
But they need air, don't they, all creatures? So you wouldn't want to seal the top.
No, as you can see with the bug bottle, it's got perforated holes in it.
Right.
So it keeps, and you have to keep them damp, but you know, the book will tell you on that with that one.
Now,
and then something like the leopard gecko would cost you quite a lot. That's about £50 upwards to set up.
Well, they're beautiful, these creatures you brought along today. Thank you very much, Ben and Chris, for coming along.
That's a pleasure.
And now to a story about one of Britain's favourite wild animals, the seal. Now, you may remember that last summer, many of the seals which live around the coast of Britain fell prey to a mysterious virus. Now, the disease took hold incredibly quickly. Many seals died, So the RSPCA and Greenpeace got together and opened up a special emergency unit here in Docking in Norfolk. And the idea of the unit is to treat as many of these seals as possible and hopefully release them once they're cured. And so far, they've managed to return lots of seals back to the sea. In fact, the unit is becoming quite famous all over the world. A couple of weeks ago, I went along to the seal hospital where I met Chief Inspector Mike Goodenough, who's in charge there. Hello there, Mike.
Hi, pleased to meet you.
Found you at last.
Yes.
Well, this doesn't look a bit like a seal hospital to me.
No, in fact, it's an old bus garage.
What's in here then?
This is the intensive care ward where the seals come into, first of all.
Hello there, Joe.
Hello there, Stuart.
Who have we got here?
This is Oliver.
And why did he come into the centre?
He came about 2 weeks ago. He had the virus that's been affecting all the seals around Britain. We've had quite a lot of the seals in over the last few months.
What do you do to help them once the seals are here?
Well, it depends what's wrong with them, but as this virus is lowering the temperatures quite a lot, that's one of the main problems we have to deal with. We have the heat lamps, but also we use the towels that surround them. It keeps them nice and warm and makes us feel that they're getting cuddling up to the towels.
Do you not keep them in water at all?
No, they don't have to be kept in water, but we do keep them wet. We spray their eyes quite a lot and keep their eyes wet. And they're also floated for an hour each day, but then they're in the dry rest of the day.
So it's a lot of nursing care for them, really.
It is, yeah.
The next stage that we go through is to bring them into the splash pools, where they get used to each other and where we can give them minor medication and they get used to water again. The most important thing here is that they're easily available if something does go wrong. The water's shallow enough that we can get in very quickly.
Are seals sociable creatures in the wild, then?
Oh yes, they're gregarious animals. They live in large colonies of 100 plus, and they get along with each other extremely well. They're now getting themselves fit by playing and swimming around in the pond here. Right, this is the big outside pool. It's the next stage after the splash pools. We put them in here so that they can learn to fish by throwing the food on the bottom, and we let them get a lot of swimming exercise in the big tank so that their muscles are fit, ready to go back to sea.
How long will it be before these two seals are released?
Depending on the veterinary surgeon and his blood counts, I should think about 3 weeks.
It must take a lot of work to keep this whole centre going then, Mike.
Yes, it's a lot of hard work, a lot of maintenance work, a lot of handling of the seals. The ponds have to be emptied, the animals have to be given their medication, the fish has to be defrosted and given to them.
It's a happy ending for these two, anyway.
It's what we call bittersweet. It's very, very sad for us to see them go back to sea, but very happy to see them back in their proper environment.
The weekend before I visited the hospital, another 5 seals were returned to the sea by Mike and his team.
Those grills on top of these are the ones that are going to be out.
This is Morstan Quay in North Norfolk. Getting the seals onto the boat isn't easy. They're carried in these stretchers which hold them securely and keep them from struggling about too much and injuring themselves. The boat's taking them out to Blakeney Point, where there's a colony of seals and where the 5 from the unit will be released. As Mike Goodenough said, it's a happy and a sad time for them when they let the seals go, but the seals certainly seem to be glad to be back at sea. Now, you may remember that last week was National Environment Week, and amongst the loads of letters we received was a whole stack from Shire Green Middle School in Sheffield. Now, children of Shire Green are helping to improve their environment. They're hoping to create a nature conservation garden to attract all sorts of wildlife, including butterflies, finches, blue tits, all sorts of wild flowers. And the children are also concerned about the amount of pollution there is in the environment, and they're busy thinking of ways to help prevent it. And in Northamptonshire too, there's lots of environmental work going on, with some 10 schools there being involved. And using the techniques recommended by Watch and under the supervision of their coordinator, Nigel Palmer, the children are holding a pollution survey of 4 rivers in the area. That's the Nene, the Ouse, the River Cherwell, and Avon. The first part of the project began earlier this week.
We went out to the River Avon and we tested the speed of the river.
Put a marker in, then we measured out 10 metres one by one. Then we put the marker on the other end.
We put a lollipop in, a lollipop stick, and then timed it how long it took till it floated 10 metres. Then we tested the depth of the water, and that was 25 centimetres. Then we tested the temperature of the water, and it was just under 7 Celsius.
Then we went into the middle of the river and kicked up some mud.
We had made some nets and we dipped those in the water, looked through the weed to see what we could find.
And then we emptied them out into sweet jars.
We took them back to the school and put them in trays and magnifying glasses and had a look to see what they were. We found some water boatmen, some water shrimps, some caddisfly larvae,
Mayflies and stoneflies and damselflies.
We looked at a few creatures and we got them out with a repeater.
There was a group of us identifying all the creatures and we wrote them down, looking at the animal indicators, seeing if we could find if the water was polluted. The animal indicator is a chart from Watch. It tells you which animals can live in clean water or water which has some pollution.
We thought we would find pollution near the sewage works, but we found out that where the sewage works started to put the water back into the stream, that stretch was clean.
When we've got all the information, we should make up a database and put it onto the computer.
Then people from other schools who log on to Campus 2000 can compare our results with their results.
Now, as they said, if you have access to the Campus 2000 system, you can have all that information at your fingertips. And now, after weeks of practice, let's see if I can operate this computer. Hello, what's this? Dear Caterpillar Trail, thank you for coming to see us and our survey. We are busy working on our findings and we hope to let you have our results very soon. We enjoyed it when you came to see us. It was very exciting. Thank you very much. And as soon as we get all the information, we'll let you know the results. As I said earlier, this week is National Pet Week. And one of the aims is to promote responsible pet ownership. And that means learning how to look after your pet and also learning about its needs. There's some more children in the studio today and brought their pets along. Hello there.
Hello.
Hello, Adriano. What have we got here?
A cockatiel.
A cockatiel. What do you call it?
Perky.
Perky. Hello there, Perky. Does it ever come out of its cage at all?
Yes.
It flies around at home, does it? Does it talk?
No.
John, you've got a rabbit here.
Yeah.
Beautiful. What do you call your rabbit?
Smudge.
Smudge. And what sort of rabbit is she?
Dwarf.
A dwarf rabbit? Well, she looks enormous. Why is that?
That's because it's pregnant.
She's pregnant, is she? And when's she expecting babies?
Soon.
So, well, you better look after her. She really is lovely. She looks a bit warm today, doesn't she?
Yeah.
Now, Charlotte has brought in another animal, but it's in a different part of the studio because we thought it was probably a good idea to keep them separate. Hello there, Charlotte. Oh, what a beautiful snake. What sort of snake is it?
It's a royal python.
What do you feed it on?
Mice.
Nice. Do they feed very often?
No, about once a month.
Once a month. They're very strong, aren't they? Well, that's all we've got time for this week, but don't forget, if you spot anything interesting or unusual, write in, let us know, and join Caterpillar Trail. See you soon.